Hi, Kent. This is Soraya.
Nice, Raya.
You are the first person, but we are live.
I, we are live. Okay. Is Laval joining us? Do you know?
I think she is.
Okay, good. I just want to run a protocol question by her. Even though I'm chair of the commission, we agreed that Jim would chair this committee. So, I mean, I can open the meeting and then turn it over to him, which would probably work. But I wanted to verify what she thinks.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything that she's not attending, so I think she and Jen are attending. We have 5 minutes.
Good. Yeah, and too, that'd be great. Thanks. Yeah.
Hello.
Whoa.
Hi, Jim.
Again, oh, you are here. I thought you weren't going to be here for the meeting.
Well, yeah. I thought I wasn't either, but it turns out I can make it. It's kind of a
Okay.
crowded. Started off with, yeah, things not going so well, but now it's picked up, so we're better.
Okay.
But I will just listen. I'll let you run the whole thing if you want.
No, you're fine.
So, Val, from a protocol standpoint, should I open the meeting and then turn it over to Jim?
I don't think it matters since we assigned it to Jim last time, so should be fine. However you want to do it.
I'll observe. It's pretty cool that Leif made the front page of the Missoulian yesterday.
What's that, Kent? I didn't hear.
Yeah, Leif made the front page of the
Oh,
Missoulian.
right.
That picture of them
Yeah.
all standing around in that space, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Well, it's 5 o'clock. Do we want to start?
So I heard from, this is Lavelle, and I know Kathy couldn't make it. Leif, I don't believe could, and Patrick couldn't. So I think this is it.
Okay, all right. Well,
Do you
Kent, do you
have an
want me to
agenda?
run the meeting then? I'm trying to,
Oh, I can introduce you, Jim.
well, no, that doesn't matter. Well, I can run it. Yeah, I didn't know you were going to be here, so that's fine. I can run it. That's fine.
Okay, I will
This is
turn over.
subcommittee.
Yeah.
Call a meeting to order. And I don't know if we need to do a roll call. I see Paul's on here, John's on here, and Kent is on here. The Leaf and Kathy are unable to make it, so I think we have everybody else. Public comment, I guess if I don't see anybody on here for public comments, so I believe we're okay. Lavelle, is that correct?
Soraya is putting up a slide. You want to just
there you
hold off
are.
a minute?
Okay.
And I just checking on the, oh, well, okay, so there's, perhaps that's Paul's phone number that needs to be brought over. 406, well, that's the area code ending in 643. That I believe is associated with Paul or somebody in our group. So Soraya, if you could bring that over into the group, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavelle.
Yeah.
Okay, there we are. Good, thanks.
And that's it. You didn't have anybody else in the attendees room, so.
Okay. Doesn't look like there's anybody else. So we'll go to item 4, which is the Preservation Month planning. And Lavelle, where I still have not found that AJ Gibson map. I know I've got it somewhere, but I can't find it. And I did find both the trolley tours and the university tour with the map for that, the arts and crafts tour, or crafts and bungalow tour, excuse me. And I do have that, but I haven't been able to find the A.J. Gibson bicycle tour.
Jen is on the line here, and I know you've been communicating with her, and she's been communicating with Emmy. Do you guys have any other ideas? Jen? Sure. She might have been texting me to tell me why. Oh, she can't hear or speak. Okay. Can you ask Soraya to let my phone call in? So Soraya, Jen will be calling in. Sorry for the delay. You have a tour that is for the Craftsman bungalows. You have a map of that?
Yes.
Do you want to send it our way, and sometime between Elizabeth and some other staff, maybe we can transpose that into, or get that into a better format, a digital format or something?
Okay. Yeah. And I can send the 2 trolley tours too, the bicycle tour and bus tour map. I have both of those.
So when you talk about a trolley tour, that's the bus tour, is that the one that we had the large coach liner
Yep.
and he started down by the footbridge, the Rux footbridge?
On the
And
rattlesnake there. Yeah.
yeah, Rattlesnake Creek. And then we went up to the Forest Service building and then over to the fort.
Yes.
That's more of a driving kind of tour.
Yeah.
We have that digital because I think that map started, I mean, Garen helped put it together. So
Yeah.
I have the digital on that. I don't, necessarily have all the stops and stuff, but the Craftsman would be really great to get and to work on bringing it into our
And I
system.
believe he did that map too.
The Craftsman walking tour, Craftsman bungalow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The phone number ending in 43, if that's Jen, she's unmuted. I cannot allow her for some reason.
I'm sorry, that's me. That's Paul.
Microphone. You can press star 6.
Jen is working on her technical technical issues. So when she gets back to us, we could see if she's got
Yeah.
anything more to offer on the
Okay.
other map or tour or something.
Okay. Well, that's fine. John, did you have anything new from what you found out?
Yes. So I reached out to Athena and we had a good conversation today. They've got a few things going to celebrate. Well, they have a few things planned to celebrate the 100-year anniversary. She's very excited about working with us to see if we could, through our efforts, amplify or create synergy around what they're doing. And here's a quick list of what they have planned. Obviously, with the bridge repairs, it's a little challenging for them, but they are going to announce the anniversary on their marquee since the theater is closed. Scotty's Table, the restaurant on the lower level, is going to come up with a 1921 menu. I'm not sure what that is. It will be a side menu in addition to their regular menu, but they will have the doors open to the theater at a minimum for groups that want to come in. There may be some additional things. She didn't say who, but somebody named Nick is working on possibly having small drinks or something. And with the era of COVID, there's wishes and then there's actual plans. So that's not a solid thing yet.
Sure.
But she seemed most excited about possibly creating some synergy around any bike tours that we might be involved in. What Athena said was that making the Wilma a potential stop on a bike tour, or at least working with that, seemed very excited. She seemed very excited about that and thought that we could, if we could help manage or arrange that, it would add to the events that they're planning on their end. So I agreed that I would bring these items, and what I'd like to do is, I'm just working off my notes here. I'd like to formalize it, maybe send it out for folks to see for possible ideas. As you know, I'm a new member here, so I don't have a depth of knowledge, but I have time and energy to contribute. So I told her that we would do that and then get back to her to see her and an assistant named Liz Dye, a local realtor who could help us put some of these plans into action.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll see. With Elizabeth coming on, is she coming on Thursday? Does she start Thursday? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
She does, yes.
Okay. And of course, we don't want to dump all of this on her right away, but
Yeah, but she has a little time to kind of get up to speed, and you know, we'll cover all the various aspects of the job and see where she's, you know, what she feels she has ability to prioritize and to work into. So I think she's going to have some time to be able to help, but everything will be new for her. Yeah.
sure. Well, I think along with the Wilma, I think we ought to look at those legacy awards and also the awards that we had last year and see if we can at least get that set up. Does Emmy, do you have what Emmy put together last fall for that, for those awards? Or last May, I mean, excuse me.
We have an ad or a press release that she was going to send out that didn't get picked up, and I also shared that with Athena. No, it was somebody else. I'm sorry, but there is a press release from last year.
Okay. I think that's what we're looking at for this year, correct? Without too much, and then trying to work in something with the Wilma for their 100th anniversary. Is that correct?
So just a question, this is Paul. Just a question on the tours, and Laval, if the city has the maps, is it possible that you could kind of just incorporate the Wilma and Benson's in that map as to kind of, and then use them in the, kind of integrate them into the whole tour as maybe it's a beginning and ending place, or pick up your map at, or I suppose they're all digital anyway. Maybe some way that it kind of integrates that back in. And in terms of the awards from 2020, maybe they could even be targeted on those maps, which would be Building 26, I know at the fairground, or at Fort Missoula. Was one I looked at them the other day. They're still out on the web someplace. I think the commercial and culinary buildings at the fairgrounds were another one.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There is a tour by Jessie. I forgot her name already. Her last name. Just a second here. Jessie Tuber.
Yes, Jesse, do send an email.
Yeah. And she's working with the Leaf and Kalina from the MDA to put that together, along with her tours that she has. That she's putting together a poster and a press release for that deal in May also. So I don't know if we can work all those in together. That would be good. Let me see what she has to say. Well, she doesn't have, I don't have her agenda yet, but it looks like she's going to work with Leaf and Clean from the MDA to do pedals through the fast ride that they're doing a couple tours of the downtown. So we could maybe work the Wilma into that. Would that be better?
I think so. I think that part of it seemed to resonate the most with Athena. So, and I think it's a logical thing to do. I'm just a little short on how the mechanics of that works. You know, just how do we affect that?
Yeah, and I don't know, we're gonna have to work, I guess, with Elizabeth when she comes on to try and work that out. Does that feel right, Jen or Lavelle?
I think Elizabeth and also Leif, I mean, he seems to be kind of familiar on both the Wilma and the tour, because isn't he one of the tour guides?
Yes.
So it's intended to be downtown. It kind of makes sense that it could be, you know, with a pause or a spotlight on the Wilma, but I think we should check with him on whether he could see that working in pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's agreed to that, and he's aware of the Wilma, but it's unfortunate he can't be here tonight, so, or be part of the meeting tonight, but maybe we can talk to him tomorrow and see if we can tie those together with that tour that they're doing, the bike tours that they're going to do as part of this.
Yeah, either John or maybe Jen, if you guys want to circle back with Leif on the connection to between the bike tour and the Wilma and see if he thinks that's workable or that was already intended or whatever, that would be great.
I can take point on that. I can, so I'll write up my report on this and then I'll email it to you, Laval, and then also reach out to Leif and see if we can't see how the mechanics on that would work.
Great. So the physical actual tour, any touring that we're really talking about is this bike tour that is being done in conjunction with the Downtown Association Unseen Tours and, you know, promoted through the Bike Ped month as well. Called, what was it called? Pedal Through the Past, I think. Pedal Past Ride.
Yeah, Pedal to the Past Ride.
Yeah. The other tours that, Jim, that you were talking about, one or maybe two, if we could possibly get those on the website, those would be more self-guided tours, right?
Well, they would. The problem with them is that the maps just show the actual tour, but there's not a lot of information associated with those tours as far as buildings or sites or anything like that. I do have some information. We did a walking tour of the university neighborhood, talking about different architects and different buildings that were part of a bike tour later on in 19. But I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm going to be gone here. So I guess I'm trying to figure out how we do that and how we make that work.
I think that's, you know, that would be kind of the project. That would be the beauty of the project, would be to try to figure out how to accomplish, you know, maybe one self-guided tour at least, and it would be that need to have the route and the combination with narrative and pictures. And is that something we could do primarily, with Elizabeth's help in the next, say month and a half or something, month maybe, whatever. But you won't be around starting when?
Well, I'm gone starting April 12th through, be back that first week of May. But
Okay, okay.
so I'm not going to have a lot of time to do much between now and
You won't be our consultant. Huh, yeah. Well, it's an idea I can take to Elizabeth and see what she can do if you can give us, as much information as you have, and maybe if you have any time to look at material that we have. Right now, we don't have the tour itself, but I know that there's a bunch of AJ Gibson, photos and stuff in our directory.
Right. Yeah. If we can find that map, that's probably going to be the best one to show AJ Gibson, because I know Emmy put together some photos and information on that I just don't have all of that available. I don't know where that is. I thought I had it, but I can't find it.
I'll take a look through my stuff too, to see if I have a copy of because I remember going on a bike tour into the university neighborhood, and I think that was the one that you did that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I can see if I have one. I'll look at that.
Okay.
Maybe there's a paper
I do
copy
have
somewhere.
that information. I just don't have the map. Well, that isn't true. We used the Craftsman bungalow map in order to do that. And I have a sketch here of that area that we took that tour through. But what I was hoping to find is the AJ Gibson one, because it starts out at the courthouse and then it goes to the church on Pine Street there, the Episcopal Church on Pine Street, and then around to the Carnegie Library, and then we went across the bridge and got the Higgins Bridge, and got the University. Well, before the University Apartments, the old the one. What am I trying to say? What it is there? Just past the Penn building there, the AJ Gibson building. To the University Apartments, Hellgate High School, and then we went to the university. Well, we went through on Connell Avenue where a couple of houses are, and then over to the university to see the buildings there on campus, and then back around through that area there of the university neighborhood with a couple other buildings that Gibson was involved in. But that's the map I can't find. The original map, I guess, of A.J. Gibson that we used to do the bike rides.
Maybe we could try to just offline get a separate meeting with you later next week, possibly, just to catch up on tours and tour possibilities. And Elizabeth will have like a whole week under her belt and and figure out a path forward. Does that sound okay with everybody? If I catch up with Jim on the maps and
I think
tours
that would
and
be
photos?
good. Yeah, once we can get those maps together.
Okay. So we'll look to get a meeting with you towards the end of next week.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Paul, you mentioned maybe including some of the other award winners and, you know,
From 2020.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, once we find a baseline map, if it works out to be convenient, and I suspect some of these will, then we could, maybe that's something I can put in front of Jim and then catch up with you guys later at another meeting on like a final refinement of the map at another subcommittee meeting or something.
Sure.
The merging of these things, see if it's possible, check in with you at a follow-up meeting.
And you know, Lavelle, just not to complicate things, but as we, the Historic Preservation Commission, you know, we've been trying to chase awards over the years, and I hope that there is a list of the awards that the HPC has given out, you know, at least in the past 3 or 5 years, someplace on the cities, within the city. It'd be great to kind of keep track of that and start posting that to the, like that might even be something we could push out during Preservation Month. It's like, hey, here's past winners. If you're interested, you could go look at those winners as well. Same with our legacy awards. Like, you know, is there some way that we could push that out and get that on the website so that there's a list on the website that is announcing, you know, those awards, so they're always related to the HPC? And that's just a growing
we
list
should at
on our
least
website.
have the awards when, since Emmy's been here. Before that, that's where we seem to be missing, and I don't know why. But I can see if I can find some stuff too.
Then just one other thing I was thinking about, you know, socially we've seen a lot of change this year, particularly in terms of Black Lives Matter kind of movements. And we haven't addressed anything like that specifically on HPC, but maybe there's some sort of a Indigenous piece that we could bring into Preservation Month this year. In terms of what I was thinking, I'll just throw it out there, is we have in the UM archives, I know there's a lot of photos of Native American teepees set up on various areas around Missoula, University of Montana, Fort Missoula. You know, go through the archives and pull those photos, and maybe we could set up a map as well. This would be a self-guided thing, but maybe there's a map associated with that, so people could use those photos and then go back to those areas and see what they look like today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try in some way just to celebrate this idea of change, but, you know, we are on native lands, and, you know, call that to the attention of, that's part of the HPC.
Yeah, and we could maybe even talk to Dave Strohmeyer too, because I know he's been doing a lot on that as far as the county. So.
These are all the great suggestions for Elizabeth to get to know our archives too. Mansfield Library and on campus. It's possible, again, it'd be nice to run all these ideas by her and then start to sort of put some timelines to things and see what we end up prioritizing and what we can get onto the website for May, and then not drop the projects, but, you know, be able to keep working on them and have them ready for more information, and kind of keeping the website active with new things even beyond May.
Lavelle or Jen, what's the system, protocol, whatever you want to call it, that's in place now for the city website where we have the presence currently? Because obviously it's set up with a lot of departments and a lot of different things, and it's pretty bureaucratic looking, which is necessary. I appreciate that, but some of the things we're talking about should have more than, should jump right up instead of having to send people through 3 or 4 different clicks to find something. I'm just kind of curious as to who has the overall purview of the website and how are changes made.
Overall purview is there's like a web committee that sets those standards. I think there's a few people in administration that gives us additional guidance. There would be people in the department, CPDI, that are going to be really helpful. There's yeah, so there will be sort of probably some format sideboards. But I think there's, always the front main that we can keep refreshing and keep putting more photos on and stuff. And then the margins, the fact that it's called historic preservation Missoula, like there is a simple search onto that website that you can do that gets you straight to it rather than starting at the city. So that's one thing. Maybe we bought a domain name for it, and that gets you to it. But I think that maybe there's a time when, Elizabeth can have a small consult with somebody else on HPC and talk about ideas for it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning I just looked it up. It's Preserve Historic Missoula website, which is a far more attractive place to go than going through the city website. Is that the one you were referring to?
I think that's a different website. I think it's Historic Preservation Missoula.
Preserve Historic Missoula is the local other group.
The nonprofit.
Yeah, nonprofit.
Well, anyway, that's all I do is I type in Historic Preservation Missoula, and I might be wrong that it's an actual domain name, but it gets me to the website really quickly. But that might also be because I search it so often. So in the past we've had a ton of information. In more recently, I think Emmy's done a lot of work at getting resources out there, information out there. You've got that center space for changing it up. Yeah, we could work with somebody from HPC and see what else we can do. Jim, if I may, there was also some conversation about how to recognize, last year's award winners and legacy businesses. So I reached out to Jenny just to kind of check on her thoughts about it. Let me find his. Okay, let me try that again. I was just going to bring up my notes for it. Sorry. Yeah. So I think the ideas around buying a display ad, a digital display ad that acknowledges the award winners and legacy business winners, I don't think that it's critical that was last year's awards and it sounds like old news. What we want to do is make sure that certain things don't sound like old news. But it's really a recognition and an honor, that kind of thing. And you can place an ad for that. You talked about developing posters and distributing them around town. We can do that in the realm of recognition. There's no ask, there's no event to it necessarily, but we've done, we've done some partnering in the past, like the bike tour. Maybe we could combine it with recognizing the bike tour that the downtown association is doing anyway. Website recognition, that would make sense. Using Facebook and social media makes sense. I think that we can try another press release, but the fact is old news. So it might be, remain challenging to be picked up. But if we combine it with other things, we might be able to get some exposure, and certainly on our own website, we can get that too.
We can maybe even tie it in with Wilma. And then if we do anything on Native Americans or whatever, we can, tie that all together as far as, because we always blame everything on COVID and say, well, but I don't know. It's probably not best to do it that way.
So I think there's more to do, like around the concept of the event planning or the recognition planning, that, we can build some momentum around and think about how that's going to roll out as we get more, material put together. Does that sound fair?
Yep. Yeah, so John, if you can send that stuff to Lavelle and Jen and me too, and see if
Sure,
we can pull that together.
sure.
Thank you, Lavelle, for pointing out that other website, and it's a lot more interesting looking than the going through the standard website, and so I think that's. It looks like there's lots of opportunities there to stick stuff in that link to the things we've been talking about. So that's a good place for that.
And I think I will just get Jen to maybe help work on pulling up the list of last year's award winners and the legacy businesses, and we can start to try to pinpoint where they were, and then again, like I said, I will look around for any old maps also. And Jim, I think if we can meet next week, we'll make some progress on touring, what we can actually put on the website, what's a possibility there, and have that list of the other award winners too, to see if there's some synergy there.
Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah.
And I think I'm hearing Paul say, maybe it's not a tour that's combined with something, but it's just its own tour, which is a number of award winners that we can find record of and put those together.
Yeah, just to put it out there, kind of keep a running tally on that alternative website, so that people, well, there's always a list of what awards have been given out, and it's publicly available, particularly for the legacy businesses. I mean, it just keeps them in that list out there for everybody to check out.
Yeah. Well, we should have, I know Emmy we just came on the year that we did the stuff like, what's the place where we held it? Or I know we had the Wilma, or not the Wilma, the Roxy, and some of those businesses that got awards that first year when she was here. And that was over at, what do you call a place in the Masonic Temple building there?
We met at the Public House.
The Public House, yeah. And that was the first year. And then the second year, or the next year, was then at Karis Nursery. And then last year we didn't do anything, but we have those awards. So at least we have those 3 years, and the legacy. And then if we tie the Wilma into it, I think, yeah, that'd be great if we could at least do that and get that set up. Prior to that, I'm not sure what we had for awards or anything that I can remember that was done during the year of the Merc. So.
And just another consideration on the legacy awards, might be appropriate to link those businesses to and from our website to their website. I don't know if the city allows that, but if that were an option, so people could, Karis Nursery won an award, click on it and just go directly to Karis's website. And vice versa, they could click from Karis to our website.
Okay, we can look into that.
Anything else? I will have some time at the end of next week. That'd be great. After our meeting on Wednesday, maybe we can get together Thursday or so and just pull some of this together. And then if Elizabeth can work on it or whoever can help put it together, we could have a lot of information. So that sounds good.
Okay.
Anything else from anybody? Suggestions or anything? Do we want to set up another meeting? I won't be able to, unless we do it next week, Thursday or Friday. We want to try and set up another meeting after our commission meeting. We can talk a little bit about this at the commission meeting on Wednesday night. So I think it's on the agenda, isn't it? I didn't.
Jen, I think it's on the agenda, right? It's a report in from the subcommittee to the full commission. So, yes.
And I guess we can decide at that point if you want to set up another meeting in April here. Yeah. Does that make sense?
True, yeah.
It does.
Okay. Okay, is everybody okay?
All good.
All right. Nothing else, I guess we will adjourn.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Bye now.
Thanks. Good meeting, Jim.